Warning: the Mega Man X channel and all of its videos are not meant for viewers under the age of 13. Parental guidance is advised. Hey guys, be sure to visit my Facebook page store where you can buy anything figure related directly from me. I have a wide variety of figures, accessories, anything ranging from hot toys to SH Figuarts, Figma, and third-party items as well. All you have to do is message me on Facebook, visit my Facebook page for more info. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Hey yo, I hear you're a collector. You know, I'm a collector too. Mr. Gazzo says I should get to 200 now. Mr. Gazzo says I either get to 200 or I break your thumbs. So give me some money. This is only 130. It's still $70 light. So you know what that means.
How's it going, my fellow collectors? I'm back with yet another figure review. And this time it's gonna be of none other than Rocky Balboa from the motion picture Rocky. And this figure is made by... Alright, so we're gonna get started on this review, and we're gonna start off with the first category being the source information as usual. The popular opinion on this movie is that it is one of the best movies in movie history, basically. And I do agree with that. That is 100% true. That is why this film won the Academy Award, and rightfully so, because this movie is awesome. Sylvester Stallone's creation, I mean, nothing can compare to it, really. Basically, a nobody from Philadelphia becoming one of the greatest boxers of all time. Of course, it's all fictional, but the message that the movie sends is very inspirational. So that is why I'm going to give the category of source information a 10 out of 10. Alright, so stick with me guys when we'll roll on to the next category. Alright, so now we've made it to the category of likeness. And man, oh man, these guys at really know what they're doing. Because I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do such a fantastic job of the head sculpt of Sylvester Stallone. At least from Rocky. I know a lot of people have made the Rambo figures, and those have all been pretty good for the most part. The Rambo Enterbay quarter scale figure was pretty good. Also, this new Rambo coming out by 3A, I believe. It's a 1/6 scale figure. That one looks promising. Judging by the prototype pictures, it's not out yet, so I don't want to speak too soon. Hopefully the final product is pretty cool as well. But yeah, I'm talking about Rocky here. I really haven't seen anyone make a Rocky figure that looks this good. I mean, this is almost Hot Toys quality, I have to tell you. Like, you could see the droopiness of the eyes, really looks good. They got the likeness down pat. From any angle as well, you could just tell that's Sylvester Stallone through and through. And that just blows my mind. You can go from below, you can go from above, the side profile, any angle and it looks good. So for the likeness, I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. There's no two ways about it. They even got his hair exactly how he looked like in 1976. I can't find anything that's wrong with it. So for the likeness, I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. So if I talk you guys through this pose, he's basically just walking down the streets of Philly, bouncing his ball on a cold, chilly winter day. He's trying to stay warm, he's got one hand in his pocket. And don't be fooled, guys, these aren't actually working pockets. I just created the illusion that he does have his hand in his pocket by just removing the hand and the hand peg altogether. And I gotta say, I really like this pose that I got him set him up, because he did do this a lot in the movie. I really want to keep him in this pose, but for the sake of you guys, I'm just gonna keep the poses coming. So stick with me, guys, and I'll move on to the next category. Alright, so now we've made it to the category of outfit. But before I start talking about the outfit, there's a few things that I want to get out of the way first. Let's talk about the pose first. I believe I got this pose from the Blitzway statue. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. You guys correct me in the comments if I am. But yeah, that's where I ripped this off from, so. Basically, he's just standing here with Butkus. This isn't actually the type of dog that was in the movie, but it's close enough. The dog that you see right now is a Staffordshire Terrier, but the dog in the movie, which was actually owned by Sylvester Stallone in real life, that is a Bull Mastiff. So they are different types of dogs, but this is the closest that I have. The other thing I wanted to get out of the way is that this figure right now that you're seeing in front of you is using a gang hood body. Now, makes its own body for this figure. It's like a semi-muscular type body. The bundle, it comes with all that. It comes with the body, the clothes, and the head sculpt and the hands. But I just got the head sculpt, the hands, and the clothes. I didn't need the body, since I already had this gang hood body. And it is a semi-muscular type body as well. And I think that it does the job really well. Another reason why I didn't get the body was because I saw Dean Knight's review of this figure, and he was mentioning that the joints on the body were kind of loose, and yeah, I didn't really want that problem. So luckily, I already had another spare body laying around, so I ended up using that. First, I tried to use a Wolverine muscular type body, but that was a little bit too thin. So I changed it to this huskier muscular type gang hood body. And I think it does the job really well, so it's a keeper in my book. We'll talk about this body more in the articulation. Another thing I wanted to mention was that I wanted to give a shout out to Dean Knight. Because of his video on this figure, that's what inspired me to get this figure for myself. So, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have picked this up. He showed it off really well, all of its strong points and its weak points. Really, really good job. So, all you guys check out his channel, really cool. Especially the photography with this figure was really awesome. One thing I didn't mention in the likeness category was that right on his left eyebrow, he's got the scar running through his eyebrow from where he got cut in the fight with Spider Rico. I guess it's when he gave him a headbutt. So was able to recreate that scar on the eyebrow, which is really awesome. They managed to capture that detail really well. So if you take that band-aid that I got on him right now, if you take that off, you could see that. It's pretty cool. Alright, let's start talking about the outfit. We'll work our way from the top to the bottom. First, I want to address the hat. This hat is a sculpted plastic hat. At least I think it's plastic. And it is non-removable. And I guess that's a good thing. I mean, they might not have the technology to have a removable hat kind of like the Marty McFly figure from Hot Toys from Back to the Future Part 2. He had a removable hat and hairpiece, which was magnetic. And he also had a regular hairpiece that you can put on if you didn't want him wearing the hat. So that would have been nice to have with this figure. But is a third party company, so they might not have the technology to do that. So I'm going to give them some leeway on that. But they still could have solved that problem by giving us another head sculpt without the hat. But again, that probably would have increased the price on this figure dramatically. So maybe it's a good thing that this didn't come with an extra head sculpt. Moving on down, this band-aid on his eyebrow. It's just a custom piece that I put on there. This figure doesn't actually come with it. I just decided to recreate that look when he got that cut from the fight with Spider Rico. Moving on down from that, we're going to talk about the leather jacket. It is a thin pleather material. It feels like the same material that they used for the Hot Toys Battle Damage T1 T800 and also the Hot Toys DX10 Terminator. So I am kind of scared that this jacket might have that same problem of falling to pieces given time, because depending on the climate, that may happen if it's very hot or very cold. This jacket might fall apart. Moving on, we also get a light gray long sleeve shirt underneath the jacket, and it's pretty well tailored. Really nice. And moving on down from there, we get regular cloth black pants, and they're very form-fitting. It is very well tailored, but because it's so tight on the body, you don't get a lot of movement from the legs. But we'll get more into that in the articulation. I'm just going to tell you right now that the pants restrict the movement on the legs quite a bit. Moving on down from there, we get these black boots, which are not really screen accurate. In the movie, his boots were a brown color, not black. And also, these boots are made of a pleathery material. So it's basically the same issue that I'm worried about with the jacket. I'm also worried about with these shoes. They might fall apart in the long run. And they also got soles that are glued on the bottom. So yeah, I'm not too confident that these boots will hold up. And that's about it. He doesn't have a belt. I do wish that they would have given us more in terms of the outfit. They could have given us his Christmas sweater that is like a brownish beige color that has reindeer designed on it that's in a red color. Also, he also wears a black shirt with a beige sweater over it. He wears that on his date with Adrian when they went to the ice rink. It was on that Thanksgiving night. So that would have been cool if this figure would have came with all that. But all in all, it's a decent outfit. So for the outfit, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The reason I knocked off a point is because of the boots. They're not screen accurate, and I'm afraid that they're not going to last in the long term. But other than that, it's pretty good. Alright, so stick with me guys, and we're going to continue on with the rest of the review. Okay, now we've made it to the category of articulation. But before we start talking about the articulation, I just want to do a quick comparison here with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is a little bit shorter than Sylvester Stallone. I chalk it up to Arnie having bare feet, and Sly's got boots. And he is wearing a hat, and that's why he's taller. Now, in real life, Arnold would be taller than Sly, because Sly is 5'10", and Arnold is 6'2". So yeah, I'm just gonna blame it on the hat and the boots. and that's why he looks taller. Alright, let's start talking about their articulation. And when I was first assembling this figure, the head was pretty much a pain in the butt to try and put on this figure. So my advice would be to heat this head sculpt up really good with a blow dryer or a heater of some kind. Get the plastic malleable enough to fit the ball into the socket. And even then, when you fit it on, you're not going to hear the snap. So just push as hard as you can, and you'll pretty much know that it's on. It is going to be a tight fit, but you won't hear the snap. So don't worry for that. He does have a full 360-degree turn around the neck. Good pivot, left and right, and he can look up and down. So really good on all those points. He's got really good shoulder shrugs. He can rotate his arms a full 360 degrees. You can spread the arms out approximately 40 degrees. The downside of this figure is that it only has single bend elbows. So you can't get him in boxing poses because the elbows don't bend all the way to his face. So that kind of sucks. Moving on, he has pretty good ab crunch forward and backward. And he can also tilt left and right from the abs. Moving on down to the waist, he's got good rotation there, right and left. He's got a good pivot as well. Moving on from there, we got standard Hot Toys wrist pegs. Moving on down to the legs, the hip to thigh area. He kicks a little less than 40 degrees forward, and not too far backward either. And he can't do the splits at all, basically. Because of the pants he was wearing, like I mentioned before, the pants are very form-fitting, so it restricts a lot of his movement. So you can't really kick the legs outward at all. They spread a little bit, but not too much. And he's also got double bend knees. And he's also got standard ball and socket joints for the ankles. The ones that I'm using now are a little loose, but that's because of the pegs that I'm using with the body. They don't really match. It's not for this particular body. And that's my fault. It's not the figure itself's fault. The reason I'm using these pegs is because the original ones that come with this body are the extended pegs. So those pegs would have made Rocky too tall. And these pegs are shorter, so that's why I'm using them. But the downside is that they're a little loose. But it's got pretty good movement at the ankles. You can pivot them, and he can kick up, and he can kick down. So pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation. So for the score for the articulation, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Right down the middle, because it's not too good, to be honest. Alright, so I'm going to talk you guys through this pose. He's basically got his pack of cigarettes getting ready to light up a cancer stick. Now, I wish I did have a cigarette to pose him with, but sadly I don't. If you guys remember, he was a smoker in this movie. And Mick kept nagging him about that. Not to smoke or drink, because it was affecting his boxing career, so he was trying to take care of him. And Rocky was always either drinking or smoking. So Mick was trying to talk some sense into him. And Rocky did pick up smoking again in part 5. But I think those are the only movies where he was smoking. Alright then, so that's about it for the articulation. Stick around and we'll move on to the next category. Alright, so we've made it to the final category, which is accessories. And as you can tell, it does not come with much. We get a total of 5 hands. And they're all this sculpted fingerless gloved hands. So we get a pair of fists. And the sculpt on these hands are really well done. You could see the seams from the gloves, the stitches, and the wrinkles and such. And I'll give some props for that. Not too bad at all. Also, I am happy that he does come with fists. So if you wanted to, you can get him into some boxer stance poses. But because of the body, he can't raise his arms or bend them too far up. But regardless, I am glad that he comes with fists. He also comes with a pair of relaxed hands with the same amount of detail, really well done. So really nice. He also comes with a right hand that is sculpted to hold his rubber ball. And that also has the same amount of detail as the rest of the hands. Really nice. And he also comes with the black rubber ball itself, but it's made of plastic, not rubber. And that's about it. That's about all the accessories we get with this figure. And it's a shame because I could think of a lot of things that this figure could have come with. He could have come with a cigarette. He could have come with a Christmas sweater that he wears in the movie with the red reindeer on it. He also could have come with the black shirt and the beige sweater that he wears at the ice rink with Adrian. He also could have come with a beer bottle. There's all these things that he could have come with. It's just a shame that we didn't get any of that. I am grateful that we got the rubber ball at least. That's awesome because it's very screen accurate to how Rocky was in this movie. He always had that, and even in part 2, he had that. And also in part 5, he still had that too. So it is pretty iconic of this character. It's just a shame that we didn't get anything else. And another thing, he didn't even come with a base either. The one that I have him on now is a True Type Hot Toys body base. So they could have given us that. That would have been cool with the Rocky logo on it. So yeah, it's a pretty short category, guys. There's not much else to say. So for the accessories, I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10. So to round up the score and wrap up this review, guys, this figure gets a 42 out of 60. Kind of a low score, but mainly due to the fact of the packaging, really suffered on that, and the articulation and accessories. But other than that, this is a really solid piece. The head sculpt alone nailed it with that. And that wraps up this review, guys, so I want to thank you all for tuning in. Hey, yo, if you like Mega Man X's channel, you go ahead and subscribe to him. He's a good kid. Also, don't forget to ring that bell. It's really important. It's like the bell at a fight, you know. And yeah, that's how you're gonna get new notifications about his videos. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, will you? I'd really appreciate that. Until next time, guys. I'll catch yous later on the tube. Alright, bye, guys.